heard the sound, it was bittersweet. Voices calling out from an aching heart, getting so much closer by staying apart, singing a song of hope and love that you heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive. We will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. The streets are empty, but the sky is clear. You want somebody and can't have them near, taking shelter where you can when the world is at stake. Alone together, trying hard not to break, singing a song of hope and love that will heal. You heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive. We will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. A song for the lonely, the tired and the weary. A song for the broken, the mighty. Can you hear me? Get beyond our pride and greed. Share everything that we need. We won't be ignored. We will be restored. Singing a song of hope and love that will heal. You heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive. We will stay strong. 'Cause love is the word, and hope is the song.
Good morning, South Florida, and welcome to the breakfast at the Brooklyn Cafe TV.
Take a deep breath and a good whiff of that coffee brewing. Grab yourself some toast, a donut, or any breakfast. As Dawn and Freddie get you up and ready for the rest of your day.
So I grabbed myself and called 888-994-4995 to share a tip of the day,
Or just to say good morning.
so get ready for the time of your life.
Shake off your sleepies, buckle up, because it's showtime.
That stinks. Welcome to the morning breakfast. We have new people, old people, and then we have Slick in the studio.
Thank you.
I just figured I'd just throw that in there. Do me a favor, if you're watching today's show for whatever mistake that you fell upon us, can you share it out?
I love your happiness and positivity.
It is positive.
Is
I
it?
could say you're not going to share it out. I could be very positive.
Please share it out.
I gotta tell you something. Yesterday, I watched a movie called Two Guys. And I didn't realize that this movie was made in 2012 and it had Al Pacino. You know Al Pacino, right? And it had the guy, We Need More Cowbells. What's his name?
Christopher Walken?
Christopher Walken. And Christopher Walken and Al Pacino, they have a certain chemistry that's pure old school. So these guys were gangsters in the day.
I was going to say it had to be a mom movie.
Al Pacino went to jail for 28 years for something, and he ended up killing a mobster's son. So the mobster kept Al Pacino alive in jail so he could serve out his whole term, which he did, come out, and his best friend, Watkins, had to kill him. He had 12 hours to do it. He had to be dead by 10 o'clock the next day. So he felt guilty as his friend. He called the guy a couple of times, begged for his life. You got to see the movie, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm saying to myself, if it was Slick, what would he do with his best friend? Now, he treated him to hookers and everything.
We talked
else.
about this 2 days ago with conversations. Who do you choose? Best friend between friends, who do you side with? And now you got to kill them?
Well, he had to decide. He bought him hookers and a suit. You know how they used to buy a suit? It's the best. They go into a store and they rob it. You know, they pick the locks. They go in and buy the suits. They know how to turn off the alarms on the. Like he wanted Viagra, because after 28 years with no women, he needed help with Viagra. So he takes a handful of Viagra, ends up in the hospital, right? This is Al Pacino. You know Al Pacino, the way he acts, right? So I'm just wondering, and I'm telling myself, how in the world, what would I do? And then what would I do old school? And what would Slick do, because he's a millennial? Is he still a millennial?
Yeah.
I think so.
What
are
would
the
the younger
choices?
guys do?
What are the
Well,
options?
Do you shoot your best friend?
No. That's a
Think
no.
about it. Now,
No.
If he didn't shoot his best friend, he was dead, and the niece that he just discovered would be killed.
Good morning, Taylor.
Good morning. So it added up to what do you do, right? So I'm sitting there, and it's like
Teddy was Mike.
12 o'clock
We're
already,
gonna be asked for.
and I wanted to know, woman or man, it makes no difference. What would you do? And this is you grab the mic. I guess let's find out. What would you do?
I just grabbed the mic because I knew I was going to be yelled at if I didn't grab it. I don't know. I have no idea.
She hasn't slept. It's a conversation she's not ready to have right now.
Yeah, this is way too early in the
Talk about it.
morning
What
to
would
have
you do?
this.
And again, shaking her head. You don't know what you would do.
No.
Slick, save me. What would you do?
I can't put blood on my hands, so
Exactly.
that's with
bad.
that's with the friends.
But either way, blood is on your hands.
You go grab a mic, because I'm going to ask you, being that you have absolutely no knowledge of what the hell's going on around you, what would you do in that circumstance?
I wouldn't kill anyone.
You would.
No.
But this guy's a mobster. This guy did killing for a living.
We can't relate to that whole situation.
We can't. That's not my
I believe
lifestyle.
in fairies and Never Land.
So-
But either way, blood was going to be on his hands, right? He either killed his best friend or he died along with his niece.
Most definitely.
So what does he do? He takes an envelope and he leaves his keys. His niece owned a little store that like a delicatessen, like a deli. You went in, you eat and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She's like you. She never slept, so she was there that morning. He left her an envelope with the keys and a note, and he told her, you're my granddaughter from my daughter who never spoke to me in 28 years.
So it wasn't really his niece, it was his granddaughter?
His granddaughter, and he left the keys. So he calls at the end of the movie. He calls her. Go to the closet. She takes a box. It's like hundreds of thousands of dollars that he's been saving for her. She says, "This is too much. What is this?" And he said to her, "That's your future. And that apartment is all paid for. It's all for you. I'll see you on the other side." Now I'm thinking, why would he say, "I see you on the other side"? I mean, this movie got better and better as it goes along. So him and Pacino, they got their new suits they just stole, walking. And he shot the two guys in the store as well. I mean, this guy, he's a killer. And he says, "Are you sure this is what you want to do?" He says, you're my best friend. You've been my best friend. We're going to do this." And they go after the guy who threatened him, and they shot them up. Now, the movie ends with them in the gunfight. He's shooting at a warehouse, the guy's shooting back with a machine gun. It's amazing how Pacino and the other guy don't get shot. But the assumption is they probably died in that whole blaze of glory. But is that what you do? Old school says yes. Can you imagine having to put yourself in a position that you have to choose between your best friend?
Well, that was like the movie we watched that Steve Gubb's friend was in
Yes.
with the lady. I can't remember the name of it. It was a new movie. It was like won all
Can't
these
remember
awards.
So I care a lot.
I care a lot. Thank you. Same type of thing.
I care a lot. You seen I Care a Lot, the movie? There's a lot of movies that go on in this place, and some of them I just more
She's
meaningful.
looking at you and she's probably thinking, who is this guy?
All I'm saying is that the right thing, old school, is not the same thing right today. It just isn't.
No.
There was always a bond that you never did in the old school. Otherwise, you paid for it.
I like your shirt. Nice message.
What's it say?
God is with us. That's old school. Old book.
So I want to bring on some of the subject matter that's going on in the news today because I want to get your input on this thing. You saw that there's a second killing in 10 miles in Minneapolis, and the cop was being charged with manslaughter. The rioting continues, and now they're calling. They don't want that. They want her to serve. She's going to get 20 years and a $10,000 fine if found guilty.
Yeah, they're talking about 10 years.
They want more than 20 years. They want, I don't know what they want.
Do you know Slick watches MSNBC every morning at like 5:45?
No,
he
he
is up
says
on
that.
the news.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, I
I'm
really
thinking,
do
why
get
don't you
up.
talk about all of this on the morning show?
Because he doesn't want.
Because I don't want to break conversation. You guys are like in
Well, tell me about this conversation.
What's
Do you
up?
think that the cop made a mistake or she didn't?
I don't think, what is it?
I don't know what is
What
it?
she says, what she says in the video is she was pulling, like they're claiming that she was supposed to be pulling for the taser, but she had the gun out for a while, so she should have known. Being an officer,
A training
26,
officer.
26 years vet, you should have known that you had a gun in your hand.
She's a training officer.
Yeah, true, but she's a 26-year vet. She should have known that she had a.
And the taser's in her left hand and the gun is in her right hand.
Correct. She should have known that it was a gun instead
So
of.
what do you think?
What? I don't
You
think.
think she's guilty?
Yeah.
Of what, manslaughter? She
Yeah.
killed the person.
She killed the
But
person. She know that shit.
it wasn't premeditated.
Does it really raise the question of whether she did it accidentally or not? She killed someone.
She killed somebody.
Accidental manslaughter and premeditated manslaughter are just two different charges, but still manslaughter.
Okay. Now let's back up the tape for 1 second. Let me give you some inside stuff, which you should have brought up. You know that there was an outstanding warrant for this gentleman.
Correct.
Yeah, but did you see what the warrant
But
was?
guilty people shouldn't die
Misdemeanor
though.
gun charge.
Yeah,
no,
no,
the
but
warrant, as I saw it, was when the guy was a kid, he was found smoking a joint. They charged him in a state that says that they decriminalized pot. They charged him. He got a fine during COVID. He wasn't able to pay the fine. So instead of trying to find him, they immediately sent him to collections, which wasn't really up and running during COVID. So because he couldn't go, they put out a warrant for him.
Okay, I'm going to look it up because the
That's what I
information I got
heard.
was
And-
misdemeanor gun charge.
and
But let me ask you a question.
guilty people shouldn't die either. So it's
Now,
kind
hold
of
on a
like
second. Let me ask you a
Sure,
question.
that's our justice system.
If
That is correct.
you're standing by your car and they're frisking you and they're gonna put their cuffs on you, for whatever reason, I don't think that they should have put cuffs on this guy anyway. It made no sense to me. But why is he running?
That's true. He shouldn't have run.
But then why didn't they take the keys out of the car when they took him out of the car?
And why they leave the car open?
And why they leave the car open? Now I understand that the cop, who happens to be a black cop that was trying to cuff him, horrible job of cuffing. I was an auxiliary. I could tell you straight up, that's not the way you cuff somebody. It looked like he really didn't want to cuff him. And there was a lot of gabbing going on. There was a cop on the other side and she's behind. Now, if she is teaching him how to do this correctly, you pull a gun in that circumstance, is her life threatened? You only pull a gun when your life is threatened. You don't pull a gun because you can, because a mistake makes no difference. You pull a gun, you're going to shoot. But why did he run? Why did he escalate it?
People are afraid.
yeah,
But running
especially
with four
especially in
cops
this
around
time.
you is not a good
Well, think
equation.
about it. When you guys were younger, I'm going to ask Slick because he's a
Yeah.
black man, right? So, all the racism that it is, if a cop pulls you over for something you're not doing, you got two choices. You run because you're wrong, or you sit there and you go through the whole process, and they could still be wrong and they could still arrest you. So,
Most definitely, which happens.
it's different. So, if someone pulled Teddy over, or Val, as a white girl, woman, same situation, it could be a totally different outcome. So race, unfortunately,
Plays a
has
big
a
factor.
play sometimes.
Yeah.
It does have a play. But is that what we're talking about
I
here?
don't
was
know.
talking about police procedure.
Well, police procedure though. Why do you need 4 cops on someone who just has
Has
one
an
warrant?
outstanding
Have you ever
warrant.
seen Boca police when they pull you over? There's 27 cops. They want to show a sign of strength so that there's
But I
less
would be
mistakes done.
terrified, and this is me, like,
Yeah.
as a white woman, like you said, like, I don't even have that type of experience. I would be horrified.
Like,
So I can only imagine someone, a person of color, especially a black man who knows he has a warrant out, even if it's not a big serious one. You're gonna, his mindset may have been, I'm gonna die anyway. Let me at least try and escape, because people have been killed for a lot less.
trying
Sometimes
to-
our
Most
justice
definitely.
system isn't so fair for people of color, for black people. It just isn't.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. Before we go down that road, I was pulled over one time by a white cop down at the Keys, and I think that if you go above the speed limit down towards the Keys, the same cop has pulled everybody over because he pulled me over, he pulled Freddie over, he pulled Sarah over. When he pulled me over, I'm a white guy. Well, he's a white cop. I kept my hands on the steering wheel, and this guy came and he's screaming bloody murder at me. Apparently, what I was doing was I was looking at my phone because I was going on an appointment, and in the day you used the map on your phone. I was new to Florida. I didn't know where I was going. Now my tags were out. My insurance was not in. I mean, he had me dead to rights. If he pulls me over and he starts to check me out, I lose my car, probably end up in jail because I broke the law. And I'm being very honest. Okay. So I stand there because I said to him, "Officer, I'm sorry for what I did." But looking straight at, I didn't even eyeball this guy. And this guy is screaming at me like a military sergeant. "Let me get your license." And my license was in Tampa. Wasn't even registered here. The car. Is this what you teach your sons how to drive in Tampa? And I said to him, you're 100% correct. I feel horrible. What can I do to make amends? Now I'm having a conversation where a guy is screaming his head off. The veins in his neck are coming out. Because what he wants to do is he wants to strip the car. He wants to know about the tax. He got me. He got me. He knows he got me. Now, maybe it's color. Maybe it's because I didn't lose my cool. Maybe it's because I didn't run. I don't know. He says, all right, go. Slow it down and get that fixed, is the way he ended the conversation. So he knew that he had me. He looks a little deeper, I'm in trouble. White cop. Black cop caught me in Hollywood a couple of weeks before that. Again, I just started this job. He gave me over $2,500 in tickets. He could have pulled my car. I didn't have insurance, no tax, nothing.
So in those 2 weeks' time, you didn't learn?
I didn't have the
kidding.
money. I was making them, and when I had the money, I had to go there to pay all these fines and everything. It was a black cop. Okay, in front of a rabbi's house is the reason why he pulled me over. I didn't know that you weren't allowed to look for your directions in front of a rabbi's house. And the woman kept looking out the window, and she's the one that called the cops.
Oh, you
on
pulled
me.
over in front of
Yeah.
their house.
And I got pulled over. So, again, a black cop, white cop, me. Now, I respect the badge because anybody who has a gun, I'm going to respect. I'm not going to get into an altercation. I'm not going to run because, trust me, you can't outrun a bullet. And you have to depend on other people's
Yeah, but
judgment.
people are scared.
yeah, most
Okay,
definitely.
well, you know what? What do you think the guy with a gun? You don't think he's scared? You don't think that woman was scared?
No,
She's saying
sometimes,
taser, taser, taser. She unloaded a bullet in him.
It's horrible.
sometimes,
Well-
and especially like I'll say with my traffic infractions. Not saying that I do them on purpose
yeah, you
or anything.
had them though, right?
But like I know I had several which didn't make any sense. Like the cops held me and tried to figure out how can we actually place them in, knowing that my record was clean. The only thing that the only reason why they pulled me over was either is because it was a late night, and majority of the times they see my eyes were bloodshot, but like in my rightful age of like I'll say 18, 19, I was mostly doing video work, so I was dropping off a camera really late. So they was pulling
What they
me
pull
over.
you over for?
They're pulling me over. They called the DUI cop. They called another cop, and they called another cop. It was up in Boynton.
Did
Like-
you blow?
No, I didn't
Were
blow.
you drinking?
No, I wasn't drinking.
Were
I
you
was
high?
literally dropping off a camera. Literally, like one of those type of cameras that we use for camera 2. Basically,
And what happened?
They let me go. I had to call my supervisor because she lived in the building, and they thought I was lying about the whole situation. They thought I was selling stuff, but I wasn't. They were looking into my car, which they shouldn't be looking into my car. They wanted me to pop my trunk.
Water.
And at the end of the altercation, one of the cops got in my car and parked my car.
He got in your car?
Yeah.
Did you give him permission to do that?
No.
Then he can't do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got in my car. That's why my mom went up to Boynton Police, and then
It doesn't matter. You don't have to you need a warrant to search.
they need a warrant to search, and they need a warrant to like ask me to open anything for my car. They're
didn't
just
have a
getting
warrant for
pissed
Breonna
off.
Taylor either.
No,
Right.
but they went in. They had what they call wasn't that the one where they
Probable
shot her
cause.
through the door? They had probable
Yes.
cause, so they were serving. It was serving the warrant.
The thing is, well, that was a whole other thing, but for SLEG, they can call probable cause.
Correct.
There's no actual legal definition of probable cause. So him having bloodshot eyes because he was staring at a screen and tired,
Yeah.
they could technically testify in a court. He had bloodshot eyes. He was acting funny because he
Yeah.
was tired and it was late
I
at
was
night. That's
tired.
probable cause of
Late
having
night.
drugs in the car.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you that the problem is when a cop pulls you over, he's gonna size you up, and his first 3 seconds is what you're gonna size you up. So if you got a Hector, you got a Slick, you got a Dan, you got the males in this place, Blake, they're gonna be suspicious. I'm just calling it the way I see it, because a cop believes that his life is at stake every time he pulls a car over.
True.
So you'll see them go to the back window. You'll see them looking in the car, see if there's a gun. He wants to see where your hands are. You want to keep your hands always on the steering wheel. You could be purple. I don't care what color you are. The problem is that somebody who has the gun, you got to deal with that mentality. It isn't about you being upset and it's wrong. What you did was wrong. Why are you pulling me over? This. It's not that, because that's your mentality. His mentality, and he has the gun, is what you got to deal with. You got to be cool. If you didn't do anything wrong, a guy pulled me over, a black cop pulled me over, I-95. You don't wear your seatbelt? And I looked down and says, officer, this is my seatbelt. Where's your registration? I opened the glove compartment because he wanted me to open the glove compartment. He says, okay, you can go. Meanwhile, the car's going 120 miles an hour by me. I'm going, yes. Okay, what else you want to do today? And you can't be a smart ass. You can't seem like you're in the right and him in the wrong, because people hate it.
You can't watch these movies anymore.
Why?
Because it's been 30 minutes of you on a rant over being
But
pulled
talk
over.
about
No
what's
more
going
movies
on.
for
He
you.
can't watch
Look
them.
at
Yeah,
what's
these mobster
happening.
movies are
Okay,
just.
so this
No more
cop,
mobster movies for
So
you.
this cop is up for. She's in the Raymond today.
Anyone looking for security jobs?
But why are we still doing? Why are we still having the rioting? Is my question.
Why? Because
It's enough.
racism has been around forever and it's not getting better, and wrong things happen, and the media covers everything.
Correct. And the
You
fact
got-
that it happened in Minnesota or Minneapolis.
10
where
miles
there's
from where they're in trial right
it.
now.
Yeah, so. it
So
was
that's
bound
what
to happen.
happened?
Yeah.
Is that the reason why?
And we've got a media, and we are in the media that picks up on everything. Look at the J&J vaccine. Yes, I'm changing the subject.
Yes.
7 people with blood clots out of 7 million doses administered. And I saw what Makia posted, which was true. You watch TV all day long, right? And it talks about all these drugs. Do not take this if you're allergic. Fear of death, blood clots, nausea, dying, blood loss. All of these things, right? But yet everyone takes them. 7 out of 7 million. The 7 is horrible. Yes. But there's also signs of going in. I mean, you're looking at percentages, and that gets taken off the market. What about all these other drugs that are not?
Did you see the latest on the blood clot?
Did
It
you
came
see
out
the
this
thing
morning.
with the people for Purdue from OxyContin?
No, I didn't see that.
I mean, there's so many things
But
that
the
the
blood
media
clot,
picks and chooses.
The virus gives you blood clots, which will kill you worse and faster than Johnson & Johnson. And now what they're stipulating is that the people who took it had to be infected somehow, some strain. And they're looking to see that's why these blood clots formed.
You know, all because you get the vaccine doesn't mean you're not going to contract the virus.
Absolutely not.
So people are living in this false sense of I got vaccinated, I don't need a mask, and they go to theme parks and they can still
Stupid.
contract it, still spread it,
Stupid.
still everything.
My neighbor he was telling me, because I had got my first vaccine, he's like, you still have to be careful. He knows 2 people, both got both of their shots, and it wasn't the J&J. I don't know which one, but I know it wasn't that one. And they waited the 2 weeks that they had to. They both got sick. One of them was so bad that he's in the hospital on a respirator. The other one passed away from it.
Wow.
And they got their vaccines, but they weren't being safe afterwards. We're going to have huge spikes because a lot of people, once they get their vaccines, are going to think they don't have to do anything anymore.
I know somebody who told somebody that their kid in New York got the virus. And the other somebody says, it's not the virus, it's all fake, it's the flu. So she picked up this guy that we know, my sister, and she picked him up and she took him to Columbia Presbyterian. And he says, what are we doing? He says, I got to pick up my paycheck. Come on in, I'll treat you to a cup of coffee. And she took him up to the IC unit that the kid is in. And the kid died while he was there. And there was COVID related. You want to call it related? I don't care what you call it, but the kid was in the hospital because of it. And my sister looked at him and says, you want to tell his family what you told me? That he only has the flu? Oh, well, and then he started rambling about all the excuses and all this and all that.
You know, we had someone in here yesterday talking about someone else wearing masks, not wearing masks, believing the vaccine or not believing the vaccine. All that aside, I'm hearing more and more cases of people who had the vaccine, both of them doing what they thought was the right thing, and someone contracted, a family member brought it home, and they got sick. So it goes back to the point is that while we are in our studio and we can control what we can control, we got to be more prudent to where we were, of people wearing masks and washing their hands, because even though everyone's getting vaccinated here, or not, well, there's other people coming in. Yes. And we have to really, really buckle back down.
It's just a reminder that the vaccine doesn't give you immunity. It just makes it a lesser chance that if you get it, you'll go to the hospital, and it gives you a lesser chance of transmission to others.
Yeah, but look at your two people you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like the flu shot. You can get a flu shot and still get the flu. You can get the chickenpox shot and still get the chickenpox, but it lessens the percentage. It can help save other people, but it doesn't mean you can just
I think that the argument really isn't about the shot. I mean, it has this, again, this for the next 15 years, we're not going to know.
But we're learning more and more that as people got them, that maybe the immunities don't last as long as they thought they did.
I don't think it's even about that. I think it's more about attitude, which goes back to the whole being pulled over by a cop. I think it's about the attitude. I think that if you want to have an argument with me about why you want to have the shot or don't want to have the shot, there's always this confrontation. I've noticed it in some of the productions that I know people who have lost sponsors because a guy said, you know, you should get your shot. And some of his sponsors disagreed with it and they laughed. Again, you're entitled to your belief. But I think it's the attitude and the formulations of how we're having conversations. We're not talking to one another anymore. We're screaming at one another. We have people pulling masks off people's faces. Don't wear that.
All I can say is I've been thinking that the more stories that you hear and the more stories that we're all hearing, everyone hears we got to keep our masks on. We got to do what we did a year ago and be just as vigilant and just as careful as we were a year ago.
It may be like this for the next 5 years.
It may be like this forever, but you know what?
You got to do what you got to do.
It is what it is, because ultimately it's our responsibility as business owners.
So we can't go to amusement parks no more?
I didn't say that, but you should wear your mask and sterilize your hands.
It's not working. First of all, I don't even like amusement parks. I don't like them.
But it's making me rethink some stuff you're planning on doing this weekend.
First of all, you don't know what I'm doing. You just think
you're going to a rave, I heard.
No, I'm not going to no rave. And you ain't either. I tell you that right now. If it is bad weather or raining,
I'm not going to that place.
Yeah, I was thinking about that also because some people I know that got sick.
I thought he would have had
amusement park
protection by now, but he hasn't. So maybe him and Dan will not be going.
I'm not going. Yeah.
Decided that.
So let's take a commercial break. I got to ask you about that slick off camera.
So again, you ain't got to answer nothing. Try to call your attorney.
Interesting vision I saw yesterday. Let's take a quick commercial break. 888-994-4995. Good morning, Madam President. I hope everyone's having a great day. Studio B, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Hi, I'm Tracy McDonough, owner and founder of Healing Moments. Healing Moments is a healing playroom, a mind, body, spirit center. Our service is love and compassion, and the environment is soothing, peaceful, and inviting. Every area is designed for healing and peace. We deliver services such as massage therapy or lymphatic drainage, energy healing and Reiki, chakra balancing, physical vascular therapy for circulation and pain, vibrational medicine using frequencies and oils, and music in order to calm and relax your mind, body, and spirit. We also offer detoxification services using infrared sauna, ionic foot baths, and power plates. All of our modalities are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, induce relaxation, relieve pain, and provide detoxification and inflammation reduction for optimal healing and wellness.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com.
Haley's.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This is pathetic.
I know. Good morning, Neil. We
didn't like this.
got to get some cookies from Neil, from the
How do you
bakery.
know that's the real Neil?
It says Neil Koppel. I love you guys. Love you too.
Neil, if you're the cookie guy, call in or write in and tell us you're the cookie guy. I don't think Neil Koppel is the cookie guy.
He had that amazing place, Dr. Doodles, is what I think.
On Atlantic.
And then he moved over here. Remember he was here? We talked about the morning show and had these great unicorn
No.
poop.
Unicorn poop?
It was unicorn poop and it was like cinnamon buns.
You're eating unicorn. You know, yesterday you were a little strange. The show was all about
No more
poops.
donuts for me, by the way.
No. Yesterday everything was about poops. From podcasting to that lady you had on.
Tony
the poop
McKenzie.
queen.
I know.
We're doing a show called Poop Queen.
I met a voiceover guy yesterday and he's in England. And I said, well, we do production in Manchester, but the poop queen.
You didn't say
I
that.
didn't tell him that. I left that part out. He's like, really? Can we talk next week?
Did you hear that yesterday? The Poop Queen?
I'm like,
You didn't hear
yeah.
the show?
She does hydrotherapy, hydroclonic therapy.
She
It's
puts
like
an
washes
enema
your
in you. That's what she
colon
does.
out.
Ugh.
I know.
Bleh, bleh. I want to drink your blood.
Anyway, I was reading an article this morning on the 3 things that people look for in leaders now in the pandemic more than ever.
Are you a lion or a lamb? Are you a lion or a lamb? You're both?
Sure, yeah.
A lion eats a lamb. How can you be both? Talk it to your mic. Are you a lion or a lamb?
I like to think that I'm a lion, I guess.
I think you are. You're here.
You're a lion. If you're here, boy, you're a
You're
big
here,
lion.
and you haven't even
Still
gone to
here.
this field yet. Yeah.
You haven't run out of here yet. Taylor, you a lion or a lamb?
Talk with
I
Taylor.
still feel like I'm a lamb, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna toughen
Said
you up by the end of the
otherwise.
day. Yeah. I'm gonna toughen you up. Maestro, you a lion or a lamb?
Maestro, got you. I'm a crocodile.
Are you a lion or a lamb?
I'm a lion.
You're a
I'm a
lion?
lion. I'm a
I'm
lion.
gonna throw a curveball at you to see how much of a lion. You a lion or a lamb?
Lion, but I would like to
Be a crocodile.
dispute Taylor's. To say Taylor, I think thinks that she's a lamb until you see her like get passionate or angry.
She gets angry.
Then she's full lion.
I watched
And
her
it's
get angry the other
amazing.
day.
She's changed.
I
Yeah.
walked away. I said, man,
It's like, I'm not doing that.
lion or lamb?
A cheetah.
She's a cheetah. Look how cute she is.
She's a what?
A cheetah.
Cheetah girl.
That isn't the question. Oh, you're a lion. I'll
She's a
take
lioness.
cheetah.
Okay.
I've been a cheetah all my life, but I take it.
So Taylor, I got to tell you, the girls from Monday, when they had requests that they want you or Eminem to sit with them, the little ones, and they owe everyone an apology. I was told.
You're getting an apology.
And they've written a script, and one's coming. And now this is podcasting, but they're coming in costume. So I guess we're going to be doing.
So you remember they got to take the little horsey thing.
So we're doing some video. Also, one's going to be dressed as a unicorn, and the twins are going to be walking the unicorn. Because if you remember the dispute on Monday, that unicorns do not fly. Pegasus fly, so they're going to be walking the unicorn. But I actually marinated the idea for a couple days and have come to an idea, which I think is pretty cool. But they've asked for Miss Lioness, Cheetah, Lamb over there to sit with them one-on-one and work with them.
We have we do podcasting classes 2 days a week for 6th graders all the way to high school.
6-year-olds.
6-year-olds all the way to high school. That's what they're talking about.
So they've requested that. One of the kids from yesterday wants to work with us. But anyway, back to the 3 things that they're looking for in leaders. They say now more than ever.
What are they looking for?
Humility as a leader,
I'm out.
integrity,
Yeah.
and curiosity. The curiosity meaning when you have an idea, instead of saying, Teddy, do this, what do you think, how can we approach this idea?
I disagree.
Teddy, I
with
want to network. This is what I want you to do. Versus, as a leader, versus bringing morale up and saying, how do you think we can best do this?
Anybody
the
want to answer
delivery.
that? Anybody want to answer that?
Anyone have thoughts on these 3 things?
Because I disagree.
Three's not bad.
I disagree. I only agree on one thing.
Which one?
Integrity.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Number 1, curiosity is a band-aid to the truth. Let me explain. If I wanted her curiosity to do a network for me, she's going to say, okay, what do you want me to do? Right? You're curious. Okay. I don't want that. I don't want the timidness. What was the first one? Humility? I don't want humility. There's a guy who wrote a book. He used to play for the New York Jets, a wide receiver. He wrote a book. The name of the book was Give Me the Damn Ball. That's what I want. I want people to grab the idea and run with it. Let them formulate other people's curiosity, not them. Leaders lead and make more leaders. Followers follow and take orders, right? We've talked about this. If you want to get into that next level,
Which we got to do.
you got to be a leader. That's why I ask every morning, are you a lion or a lamb?
Slick, what do you think? When you're working with your boys.
Oh yeah, let's talk about
Let's
that.
talk about
yeah.
your boys.
Oh, I have to be
The dream
like
team. Let's talk about
me. When it comes to me, like being a leader for the guys, like I don't like to like when it comes for me and supervising or like actually managing, I don't like to micromanage. So as long as I make sure that
I wish you would a little more.
if I as long it's true, but as long as I state what I want out of them, that's all I need from them. Like if I see that you're not following suit, there's no need for me to have you on my team. To
Do
be
you
honest
know
with
that she was like you 2 years ago?
you. Really?
You're gonna turn
Until
into me.
I micromanage, it probably might just happen because
It's not about micromanaging.
Yeah.
It's that in order to get from point A to point C, you got to go through B.
true.
So I saw Teddy the other day say, you know what? Stop. Don't
Yeah.
do it.
All right.
Let me do it. Because by the time the person who was completely in the dark got it done, we would have lost the time. And we were on a business based on time.
True, because like I'm pulling away some stuff from this one person, and now he wants to do more, but
That's called the takeaway
I'm
effect.
still taking away everything.
But you have to, because the assignment was Friday. Tomorrow's 7 days and we don't have it.
And I
Correct.
haven't heard word boo one. That's the part that bothers me.
That-
And you
Imagine
know,
if this were like a shooting, if this were really timely news.
Correct. If this was like
It'd be over.
CNN,
It'd be
they would have
gone.
been gone.
now the most despairing thing that happened last Friday is that I pulled the guys over into the theater, and the ladies were in there doing their thing. You walk in there, and there was 5 women on machines doing their thing, which really teased me
Assembly
off.
line. It was nice.
Because they were getting the work done. That's not the part that got me upset.
Correct.
I go to them and I say, you know, you guys, not for nothing, I've coached a long time on many teams, many. That never happens in my house, and I got to eat crow because they were making it happen. And these guys over here trying to figure out what finger put in their ear to get the wax out.
Most
I don't get
definitely.
it.
Most definitely.
I mean, am I lying?
You're not lying. Most definitely. And then I'm like, you guys, you see how like they're working and they haven't been that long. Most of them have been longer here than most of the girls that came in, and the girls are running laps around us while we didn't even do our first lap yet. We didn't even warm up.
They're not even taking off their sweats yet.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel's putting more layers on. Her wings, her sweatshirt, and everything.
And you got to be careful what you tell, because Slick took that whole conversation into the afternoon.
What do
He
you mean?
erupted. Remember Mount St. Slick?
What do you mean?
What do
Friday
you
afternoon?
mean you ain't doing things? You've been here for weeks. You already know what we got to do. Why are you waiting for me to do it?
yeah.
Like, why do I look? Honestly, if anybody agrees with me, why do I have to repeat myself? To be honest, because it's kind of like
Wait till he has children.
I tell you eye to eye. I tell you eye to eye. You know, I'm thinking that you agree with me with the head nod with the conversation that we had. I mean, I reiterated twice, and then you agree with me, and then all of a sudden you act like you don't know what you're doing.
See, the
That's
funny
kinda
thing
like it
is,
doesn't-
he's come over to that side. So now he sees things from a different perspective. And I said to the
Well, it's
guys,
the leadership side.
I'm going to come in with $1,000 singles, I'm going to put it on the table. And I'm going to say to them, you're leaving money on the table because we're not getting the work done.
Most definitely.
And if you're not getting the work done and we're not making the money, what, you just want to hang out like guys? You know, guys like to hang out. I ain't got time for that.
Most
You know, I'm on a
definitely.
clock.
And plus, right now we have a solid foundation. All right, I got 2 people that I
So
can
check
vouch
it
for.
out. So he's
You
found,
got 2 new good people.
Yeah.
he's found his dream team, right?
Yes,
Okay, so these guys are good.
they're good.
So I'm going to bring in the third guy, and
Yeah.
I'm going to take that group away from him.
Wow. I was just getting to know
Oh,
these
that's
guys.
right.
These
But you
guys are
just
good.
made leaders, so it's time to move on to those that need your attention.
Got
We
you.
talked about this.
I got
The person that needs the most work is the one you want to handle, because leaders make leaders.
I got you.
It's what do you want to get over on the guys that know what they're doing, and we're going to watch them. We're going to make them better and everything else. But now it's time to move on to 2 other guys. And what's Cracker Barrel? What's the ops manager? Remember we talked about teams and putting teams together? Well, the first team was no good. The second team is good. So now we got to figure out how to make the third team better to get that done. Maybe we add a woman into that whole mix if you can part with them. I got to admit, I got to tip my hat. That's the best right there. I found a guy who's as good as you now, and we want to see who's better. So you know what's going to
Quite as
happen?
good. I got to tell you, Taylor's
Nah,
still on another level.
I think very good. I
Taylor's
think
still on another level.
Dan is. I'm gonna tell you, Dan is good.
And Taylor's turnaround time on commercials, no one better.
But Dan and Kyle do 2 things. Each one does.
Kyle.
I mean Riley.
Thank you.
Riley, whatever his name is, the blonde-headed kid. The 2 of them do things that she does by herself. She does everything. He does, and now her dad is voiceover magic on top of everything else. I gotta talk to you. I think the radio station wants to bring your dad in to do all their voiceovers, but that's gonna happen. But the
It's summer. Is
interesting
he off for
aspect.
summer?
Yeah.
Oh, if you need did you guys still hiring?
Yes, I close them.
If you need somebody, if you want a summer job, they have one too. We give jobs out here.
Yes.
There's all sorts of stuff here. But the magical thing about what's happening is that the guys got to catch up. And I'm trying to rally them, and this guy's getting all flustered over here.
Me?
He
Flustered?
texts me. He got
Me?
a new master mix guy coming in.
Oh yeah, I got new message.
So he gets upset because he thinks he's on Easy
Sick.
Street. Oh, I got Dan is
That
good.
dude's sick, yeah.
I tell you, Jody, if you're watching,
We may not let you have
we
him.
may, he may be too good. He's good. He's very good. Vinny's good, and I mean, you got a dream team.
Val, is your host on the line? Yes. Okay. I was gonna say, if not, you may want to call him. Yeah, I'm watching out for your production.
You got the little phone on? Because I think Vinny's on the board, so we may have to make some phone calls.
We gotta get a schedule.
I got to find out too. I don't know what's going on. But this is about reaching heights that you've never done before. It's about if I take new girl over here and I put you here, says, okay, I want you to do a show. You go. What? Okay, call because it could be that they are running a live show now at tape. So you got to call. Call the radio station. So the object of the game here is to get and go. And when you have that small window of opportunity, you get and go. We do the same thing with Teddy. So if I tell Teddy, I want you to do a radio show today at 11 o'clock. What's it on? And she goes. And she gets all dialed up and she goes. Now we're going to go to the next level because I'm going to take Mr. Magic over here, I'm gonna push him into that direction.
Ladies, you hear that? I'm gonna be on the radio.
See, that's what he's Taylor, I'm gonna do the same thing with you, but she's a little bit shyer, so I'm being a little bit more patient.
We should do a Friday night after hours with Slick on the radio.
After hours.
We did it once.
Let me.
He was on
what is
Mr.
it?
Cool. They kept saying this guy belongs on a Z100.
Let me hear
That's
your
what I'm thinking.
request.
Friday night after hours with Slick, 7 o'clock.
You know. Let me hear your request.
So the magic is, and now Teddy's doing a show on Tuesday night. She does it at 7 o'clock. She interviews people. You got somebody for Tuesday, right?
I'm talking to him currently.
Okay, let me know, because if not, Slick, you're taking the day off at work and you're going to be interviewed. If
You
you'll
know,
be playing
Teddy's shirt
B.
is not a good shirt to watch.
I
Look at
got
if you're
you.
drunk or tired.
To do an interview?
It's a good comfy shirt.
That's exactly why.
The hell is that?
It's a
Look,
rose
I
from
thought it
Beauty and the Beast.
I thought I was losing my sight. I was going to tell you, Dawn, I need to go to the hospital.
If you look at her shirt and you're like,
Wow.
and you wonder that it's not clear.
It's cold out.
It's not clear, but it can make you crazy. You can't see any of that. I'm on 10
Wow.
times. Is that what that says?
All right.
Ready to wrap this up? You got a
lot.
lot of things coming up. We got our first Portuguese show coming up. Lady B. You don't want to miss
Oh,
that
you
with
want to hear
Danielle
this?
Buljan.
What channel are we putting Portuguese on? What channel would you think?
Fuego.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I needed.
You know what? I
That's
apologize.
all I needed to
You're
hear.
Channel are we gonna
apologize.
put it on?
He was gonna put
Who
it.
it is. I apologize.
No
What
problem.
channel were we gonna put it on?
Doesn't matter.
No
He says to me, it's Spanish, sorta. I said,
No, it's Latin. Latin.
Latin.
Spanish.
It's a
Latin.
Latin show.
So check out on Fuego today, this after, in about 30 minutes. We're gonna have our first Portuguese show, and it's funny because she's supposed to be here. I guess I gotta find out. I think she should have been here by now. Portuguese.
Danielle.
I know, she's always late. Portuguese, you speak a portuguese? You speak a little portuguese?
No. But Danielle's language, we all speak Danielle's language.
It's gonna be fun. All right, so check it out at 10:30. We had that going on. 11:30 we have BYOB all the way from across the pond.
With our Instagram social media with Nikki.
Yes, and she is showing you today. She's bringing a guru that will heighten your business using social media.
Very cool. We should take a listen to that.
And you should, because there are things going on in Facebook and Instagram where they're suppressing numbers because they're looking for dollars. So we'll talk about that later.
The 12 o'clock show, we got a full show with Wayne Henry from Dignity Memorial. It's Wayne's birthday tomorrow. And we've got Summer Pete from West Harbor. New mom's coming in, and I think Babylon is joining us as well.
Who?
Babylon.
That's the movie.
I
Who's
think
Babylon?
Wayne is bringing in Babylon.
Oh, I thought it was a movie. Remember the movie Babylon?
More to come. And then tonight we've got a big show with Michael
Wow.
Macchia, our Bitcoin master, joining us talking about cryptocurrency
I
on
need,
WWNN.
I need to talk to somebody. I gotta sell the amp. It's up to $13. The first time I made $3.
Why
on
would you
this
sell
thing.
it then?
Because it's up. It's been down for 6 months.
Yeah, but maybe it's on an upturn.
Time to go.
Why? Why wouldn't you just buy more?
More? Because I'm playing with house money, baby.
You
Say
supposed
my
to
money no more. I
hodl.
took
You're
my
supposed
money
to
out.
hodl.
Now I
Yeah,
gotta.
Yeah, but if you keep your money in, then you can earn more because it'll accrue more money.
Jordan,
Most
this thing went down to
definitely.
$5. I was losing my shirt on it. Now it's back to 13.
What'd you
It's
lose?
time.
$1?
Yes.
Losing your shirt.
Got my shirt from the dollar store.
The dollar store is what he lost. Here's
I
the
couldn't
funny
get my
thing.
candy.
You sell and I buy. Again, you and I are on opposite
You rich
ends
and I'm poor.
on every spectrum.
You rich and I'm poor.
Well, no, then you go, Dawn. I know we got to order more cables. More to come.
You know, you made me feel really bad yesterday.
Why?
Because I said, can we get the cables so we could hook? You says, I guess so. Now, anytime you ever get a text and somebody tells you, I guess so, what it really means? It means, you know what?
We have to because we can't use that equipment
But
without the
instead
wires.
of saying, of course we need it. She goes, I guess so. Well, we don't have to do it now.
My mom does that a lot.
I was gonna call you last night.
Why?
I was this far. I said, can you talk to Dawn about we need these cables? Because she tells me, I guess so. And the part that we need so you can see the pre-screen away from that little window costs almost $200. So I'm $86 until the future.
Good, like we talked about
Screaming
today.
at me about $80.
More
After all the
to
money
come.
that we've put into this place, $80. You want me to pay for it? I'll pay for it.
No. Have a great morning,
I'll take
everyone.
care of it.
We'll see you a little bit.
She feels guilty.
Bye-bye.
Don't be.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.